and you do the bubbles, I think, when you do the
Yeah, you
thumbs
can
up.
do the bubbles. Let's see. Yep, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, very nice. Cool. Well, we've got another week's worth of news here to unpack this week, and a relatively big week because Accelerate was the end of last week. So we touched on a little bit of Accelerate news, but you were there firsthand. So we can dive into that here with our first news story. Just mention, though, for everybody out there watching, feel free to throw your comments, questions in there. We'll bring them into the show. If it has to do with the news, awesome. If not, and you just want to get a question answered, we always love doing that as well. So let's go ahead and dive into this first article here and get your thoughts, Danon, on the show.
Cool.
So
and I think there might be a little bit of a delay, so I'll have to wait until you're done speaking before I answer. My system just kind of delayed for some reason. So
okay, yeah, you're coming through good on my end, so
okay, good,
no problems there. But all right, so takeaways from Amazon's pitch at its annual conference for third-party sellers at Accelerate 2025. Amazon emphasized AI as the centerpiece of its future seller tools, showcasing upgrades like the proactive seller assistant for compliance, inventory, and ad support. While flashy AI demos drew attention, sellers gave the loudest applause to the announcement of the ending of commingling, reflecting their preference for fixes to long-standing pain points. Amazon is also pulling many services in-house, offering built-in compliance, ad optimization, and creative tools that could reduce reliance on agencies but potentially disrupt service providers. To encourage product innovation, Amazon introduced tools for spotting opportunities, lowering shipping costs, and streamlining product launches, aiming to ease pressure from rising fees, tariffs, and global competition. So lots of stuff there. AI was huge from what I'm reading at the conference there.
Yep.
But some of the bigger things, in my opinion, was, again, the commingling and some of the new data insights that they've been releasing. But you were there live, Danon, so I'd love to get your thoughts and takeaways.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I spent most of my time speaking with Amazon teams, or up in Seller Cafe. You can only go twice to Seller Cafe, but I went there to solve a couple of interesting issues that I've got going on. There's some fraud happening on my own seller account. So I help people, I do negative review removal and catalog defender and stuff like that. So I help people all the time with their seller accounts. But this time it's me. And
that's no fun.
Well, it's true. It is no fun, but what better person to have this fraud than the person that helps others do this? So what happened was we had someone reaching out to us through the buyer seller messaging network saying, "Hey, we'd like a refund." And we're like, "What happened?" And well, it came, with greasy, all the stuff on the inside of the box. We're like, "Oh, interesting. Can you send us a picture?" I destroyed it all. Like, "Oh, okay. Can you, explain to us what happened?" And they're like, "Hey, listen, don't mess around with me. I want a refund. This is your last chance." We're like, "Look, we're just trying to get confirmation of what occurred, because if this is a widespread issue, blah, 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 blah." We knew it was BS from the beginning, just based on the order. They were like, we do a 30-day supply, right? And they were like at 35 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we had this from two different buyers, right? Two different orders, two different buyer seller messages. And both of them said, "Hey, listen, if you don't refund me, and I'm going to have all of my friends buy your inventory, return it, and leave you 1-star reviews, so that other people don't buy your product." I'm like, yes. And my wife was like, "This is going to ruin us." I'm like, "No, it's not. this is perfect, the best possible case study ever, because it's my own account,
Yep. Yep.
and so but now here's the clincher, is that I don't have these reviews yet, but we have seen an increase in purchases and returns,
Mm-hmm.
which our return rate is, it's less than 1%. You know,
Okay.
if we get a return, it's like maybe we get a few a year, you know? And so I bring this to Amazon, I show them the buyer seller messages, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's like absolutely fraudulent. And guess what help I got from them? Nothing.
Really? Even at the Seller Cafe?
Yes. Even at the
Huh.
Seller Cafe.
And I've heard
Yes.
good things about the Seller Cafe. Supposedly they're able to solve just about everything there.
Yes. Yes. Not certainly not everything, but yeah. Seller Cafe makes Accelerate worth going to,
Mm-hmm.
but you only get 30 minutes with them. You only get one appointment, in-person appointment. You can do a second appointment, but then it's a digital one.
Okay.
And so, like I reserved one appointment for one of my brands that is a client of mine that got hit with over 61 star reviews and went from a 4.5 star rating to a 3.6 star rating in 6 days. And so I'm trying to get, it's like so obviously fraudulent. I'm trying to get help from Amazon on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually working with brand registry on this. So that was one appointment. That was my in-person one. And then the second one was for my own account. So I did a digital appointment for that. So,
okay. But so they literally seen it and they're like, oh yeah, that sucks. That's fraudulent. Talk to you later.
more or less, it's more the, yeah, I'm not the team for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cool. Who is? I'll escalate it and get back to you. Like, yeah, sure you will.
Bummer. And have you
Yeah.
heard anything from them so far?
I did get an email from the in-person guy that I spoke to about my client, but I got absolutely nothing from the digital appointment. Silly me, I did not write down the person's name.
Mm-hmm.
And because like you're on an Amazon Chime meeting. Chime is their Amazon's own internally built system. It's like a Zoom or Google Meet, but it's Amazon's. And so I have no record of the meeting on my calendar or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I've maybe I did I take notes? I forget. I don't think I've got the girl's name, and like she was sympathetic to my situation, but you know, when it comes to resolution, sympathy doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What about the one with the 61 star reviews? Did they help you with that at all?
We're still emailing. I just responded to the email that I got from him 2 days ago, but I also got a connection for one of the guys that runs brand registry, because I brought him a whole bunch of cases in the past, which he told me this year that it sparked an internal investigation at brand registry, and that they found some sort of gap. So I'm like, dude, you let me know how I can help you fill that gap, and I will be there for you. Like, I'll put my own money and time and resources into helping you do that, because this is a huge problem for Amazon sellers.
Yes, for sure.
So
And it's so obvious. That's
it's
what
so
drives you
obvious.
crazy is when these
Yeah.
fraudulent things happen. It's so obvious. Like
Yes.
the one that I was dealing with a brand that we work on, and fraudulent seller jumped on,
Yep.
and they're selling the product for half of what the lowest price it's ever been sold at. It's
Yeah.
like, and then you look at this seller's catalog, and it's all the same. All the products they're selling are products with no other sellers on it other than the actual brand, and
Yeah.
they're all at like half price of the
Yeah.
real price. It's like, do you need anything to be more obvious that this
I
is
know.
a scam?
You know, brand registry was supposed to resolve that issue, right?
Mhm.
Then it didn't, because of, I don't know, incompetence or whatever. So they did transparency. That didn't
Mhm.
solve it. And there's another program. So there's uh brand registry, transparency, I forget the other one. Um
Well, transparency can solve it. It's just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
annoying that they want you to put the labels on all inventory that ever exists from here until the end of time now.
Yeah, serial labels, you know?
Yes.
And yes, each one of these things handles a thing, but doesn't terminatedly handle the overarching issue.
Yeah.
If I am the trademark holder on a product and I tell Amazon there's someone else selling this product that should not be selling it, Amazon should say, yes, sir, they're gone.
Yes. It should be that simple, especially when it's so obvious.
Yeah, and
There are
it's
some cases where, okay, maybe they bought the product legitimately, but when it's so obvious, it's like, come on.
yeah. But you should, as the brand owner and the trademark owner, you should be able to say, I'm sorry, brand, but you're not allowed to sell this. You're undercutting us. You're in violation of minimum advertised price policy, my MAP policy. And but Amazon being founded on, you know, giving the best pricing on the internet, they don't care about your policy. They don't care about your prices. They don't care about your profits.
Yep. Yep.
So, and that's an inherent issue for a company that goes, our production cost is $10. These guys bought this from a stolen shipment that fell off the boat, and they're selling it for $12. No, that's not possible. And Amazon goes, oh no, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very annoying. And so here's the thing, right? We're talking about Accelerate, and everything was all about AI, which the seller assistant that's
Yep.
supposedly supposed to solve all of our problems when it comes to seller support.
Yeah, not a chance.
Do you think there's going to be any kind of relief there with something like that on issues like this? Will it be able to help in that kind of case?
I actually do think that. I did go to that. Now, every example that was given at that was like, oh, you have this issue. Here's the policy on that. And the AI has already prepared the documentation. And all you have to say is yes. Right.
Mhm.
Dude, I'm cautiously optimistic that this will solve a percentage of problems. So I've said it for years. I believe that Amazon automatically declines basically every case
Mhm.
because it eliminates probably 70% of the work,
Yep.
right? Now, if you can eliminate 70% of the people that are declining these cases and replace it with an automation and an AI that's trained on the policies having to do with each one of these factors, I actually think you'll get better support that way
Yep.
initially.
Yeah.
The
It's
moment you
possible.
have a unique situation, you're going to have serious trouble.
Yeah. And it all depends on the data that it's trained on, right? Because it
Correct.
says that in the article that it has access to all seller support cases, through history, basically. But it's like, does that include all the ones that they gave you the wrong answer? So it's it'd be like
Exactly.
spitting out the wrong answer because the wrong answer was given so many times, or will it
Yep.
be trained enough that, ignore these ones that were obviously wrong and just jump all the way to the end and give the correct answer instead?
Yeah, I mean, look, no matter what. Here's a couple of things here, right? If it's trained on all the cases, okay, cool. But it's also going to be trained on all the policies.
Mm-hmm.
And all the there's so many policies that I've found policies at Amazon that conflict with each other,
Yeah.
right? So the most recent one that I found had to do with the Amazon Vine program. And in the same contract on a different section, it says you may not under any circumstance contact the Vine reviewer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says if you'd like to use the Vine content for your blah blah blah, you may contact the Vine reviewer.
Yeah.
So it's conflicting data within a single policy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that there's going to be, if they leave the support solely to the AI, it's not going to work. They're going to have some form of human oversight.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope upon hope that they've got a legitimate, helpful escalation process away from the AI. But it wouldn't surprise me if Amazon just didn't do that and hid the data, or hid the opportunity or the button to get escalated.
Yeah. Yeah. You would hope that they would replace, all of the frontline seller support people who are just button clickers with the
Yeah.
AI. And that
Yep.
should be able to solve a majority of those first level issues, like all the questions that a seller would come in and say, hey, why is my listing suppressed? When, all you got to do is look at the dashboard and it's suppressed
Yeah.
because you've got a bad image, those kind
Yep.
of questions that go to seller support. The AI should be able to take fine. And so
Yep.
hopefully they take the savings from that, probably pocket 50% of it and then put the other 50% into a higher level support that you can escalate to when AI is like, okay, yeah, I give up. Let's escalate
Yeah.
or bring someone else in here. But, it's Amazon. I'm not going to hold my breath that that'll be the
No.
case. But hopefully it will be.
I'm very hopeful. If they deploy this correctly, it will solve probably the majority of the problems that come to seller support.
Yeah.
And then they will be able to invest into people that can genuinely help you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Did you look into any of the like the additional data and stuff that they've released?
No. So my there's a couple of things. My account is unique in that I am not the brand owner of the brand that I sell.
Mm-hmm.
And the brand owner, I have to go into their brand registry account, but it's got no sales data.
Okay.
So you know, that, and also I rarely actually even go into Seller Central. My wife is the one that runs Seller Central. I do need to go in and look the metrics. I've heard the metrics have been an amazing upgrade from what they were.
Yeah, there is a lot of extra data. I'm looking at it over here, and I can't bring it into the live because
Yeah,
it'll show my
your stuff.
real life data. But they always had kind of the customer journey
Mhm.
there where you could see how they dropped off and everything. But they've got so much additional things in here, like trends and your top search queries. And
Yep,
you can click in to each section and just get more detailed data as to who it is that's looking at your product, where they're falling off, how they're falling off,
yep,
launch. They've got all these recommended actions and things like that that you can look into as well. So it's nice that they're giving us all of this data in an actual usable format. It's not just like a tab tab separated CSV file,
oh, yeah.
that you got to look at and try to figure out what it is. But it's actually in nice graphs and formats that you could actually use to make decisions on your product.
Yeah, cool. Send me the link, your Seller Central link to that, and I'm gonna I'm logged into my Seller Central because I was just looking at the subscribe and save.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm sending it. Let's see. Let me get rid of the
You can
custom
put it in the
data.
comments.
I just threw it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the comments there so whoever's looking, they can click on that and get to see their customer journey. So you can see exactly where they came through and where they left.
Yep.
They've got,
What?
high potential customers that you can then create a tailored promotion to and offer them a discount. and targeting and things like that that you can use to try to convert those sellers or those customers, I should say.
Yeah.
And it works pretty good. The cost at converting those customers is on average that I've seen less than, driving ads or paying for ads to try to get new customers. So it's definitely worth doing, putting in those brand tailored promotions to target, abandoned cart customers or customers that visited your page and didn't add to cart, and all those kind of options that they give you in there, which are really nice.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'm unable to get into mine right now because I'm logged into the wrong Seller Central account. So there's no need for me to log out, log in, and then start talking about it. We can just go on to the next subject. It'd take too long.
Yeah, no worries. We've got lots more that we can talk to, but anybody out there, if you haven't looked at your customer analytics page lately, take a look. There's a lot of good data on there that will help you make some decisions for your product. So let's go find this one here to the next article. So this one was kind of cool. So Amazon introduces FBA multi-unit fee discount for business orders. So this post was by Vanessa Hung. She highlights a rare seller-friendly update from Amazon, which is so true. A fee discount that boosts net proceeds when sellers apply a 3% or greater business pricing or quantity discount. For multi-unit business orders, Amazon reduces the per unit FBA fulfillment fee, often turning small discounts into net profit gains. This update encourages sellers to drive larger basket size, helping Amazon improve efficiency while strengthening seller margins. For Amazon sellers, the key is to strategically adopt business pricing and quantity discounts to capture both higher sales velocity and profitability. So I like this because I already use business discounts to drive, larger basket sizes. And it also, we talked about last week, Danon, how I think it was last week or maybe it was the week before, how discounts outperform coupons. So maybe it was 2 weeks ago because you were here for that one.
I was there for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So having this for your business buyers is going to be a discount. It's going to show up with that strike through or additional discounts for buying multiple products. So you're going to have a similar kind of effect for that. So I think this is a win-win for everybody out there because, like I said, I already do this. So just having a discount on the fees is going to be good. And Amazon's actually passing a little bit of that along to us, which is nice because they're able to ship multiple products in one box when these orders go through.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I'm always leery of this sort of stuff. What did they change to make more expensive? And if they did do this, like they're reducing the FBA fee, that's incredible. They should, because I would wager that they must be doing this only for the reason that what they're finding is that business purchases do tend to do more quantities, right? So they're saving loads of money.
And it's
so
been a little while since I've seen the news about it, but there was news. It might have been the beginning of this year, earlier this year, that Amazon was trying to increase its share of business buyers, because that's been a place where Amazon's been lacking, because there's not as much control on Amazon for that. When you order the same product, you're going to get the same product the next time you order it, right? Which is what businesses want to ensure. And so Amazon's been focusing on that. So this could be a part of that, trying to push more sellers to offer more discounts for business buyers.
Yeah. I mean, everything Amazon does ultimately is to make more money.
Yep.
So
for sure,
they'll either do that by attracting more business, or they'll do that by raising fees. And sometimes by reducing a fee, they attract the business that now they're going to change the fees back. or increase them in other spaces, right? We've seen this, AGL and AWD, they said, hey, come on, adopt. Let's start with AWD. They said, hey, if you put your excess inventory into AWD, then we'll give you a 10% discount over here. And then they attracted, I don't know how many, probably tens of thousands of sellers. And then they brought the fee back.
Yes.
Right.
That's the question.
Then
when
they
will
increase
it go
the
away?
price. Yes. So now, a standard 3PL is going to, cost you $1, but Amazon costs you $1.30, $1.40, $1.50. So having been in this game as long as we have, and the fact that we are always doing these news segments, like we see these things and we see the evolution, everything that they do to attract more business, and then they change the fees to make that money back.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath that expecting that this is going to be around for good. It definitely could go back to the way it was. It makes sense to have a lower fee for multi products because it's going to cost them less. They're going to be able to ship it in the same box. So it just makes sense. So hopefully it will stay. But like I said in the beginning, I already do this as just a tactic to outsell other people who are selling on a similar listing. Because if you have a business discount set and the other seller does not, your offer is going to show for the business customer that comes to that listing. You're going to get the buy box over them. So it's a tactic that I've used for a long time. So I'm just welcoming, the extra fees back in my pocket. So
excellent for right now. And I do hope it sticks.
Yeah. And anybody out there, if you're not utilizing it, I would use it, especially even more so if you're a reseller and you're up against other sellers. Because if they don't have these turned on and you do, like I said, you're going to get the buy box and they're not going to. And if they don't have a business account on their end, the seller that you're competing with, they might not even see that you're offering that discount and they won't even know about it. So it's a little bit of a tactic that you can use, but it's a good thing. Fee decreases are always good, but they will get it back one way or another down the road. So
somehow they will get it back for sure.
Yes, but it's always good to have a little bit of good news.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on to the next one here. So Amazon to pay $2.5 billion in FTC settlement over deceptive Prime tactics. So they settled their FTC lawsuit over allegations that Amazon tricked consumers into Prime subscriptions and made cancellations deliberately difficult. The settlement includes $1 billion in civil penalties and $1.5 billion in refunds to around 35 million affected customers. As part of the deal, Amazon must add a clear opt-out button, fully disclose subscription costs and billing details, and make cancellations as simple as enrollment. For Amazon sellers, this signals growing regulatory pressure on the platform, which could reshape Amazon's practices and consumer trust going into Q4. So I've got some thoughts on this, Danon, but I'm curious what you think.
Well, I'm happy that Amazon's got a slap on the wrist. I'm sure it's terrible for them that they've lost 24 hours of revenue.
Right.
But this is something that, how many years did this go on? When did this case start? It must have been 2 or 3 years ago, I think, right?
It was filed in 2023. How long they started doing it, that I'm not sure it's going to tell us in here. 2019. No, that was a settlement with Facebook. So it doesn't say when they first started doing the practice, but 2023 is when the suit was filed.
All right. So 2 years of lawyer fees. And like, and then the people that had to pay for this, they had to wait 2 years for their $79 or $89 or whatever it is. Here's the thing. These, in my opinion, these things take, and I could gripe about this forever, but these things take too long. Change is not effected quickly enough. And Amazon is not slapped hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
So 2.5 billion, that definitely sucks for the company. So they're going to have to do an extra Prime Day.
Yep. Or raise fees.
Yep. And raise the fees. So at the end of the day, like the government gets $1 billion or $1.5 billion. The lawyers get their fees. And the people that were affected by this directly get a $70 refund, right?
Yeah. Well, I calculated it 1.5 billion, assuming it all goes towards the customers of 35 million. That'd be $42.85 a piece.
Yeah. So okay, cool. I get $40 back. Congratulations, me. I can now afford 2 Starbucks coffees today.
Well, but to get that $42, you're going to have to take an hour and a half to fill out the form that they send you in the mail and mail it back to them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever looked at those. I've gotten a few of those and I click on them and I'm like, no, I'm not filling all that out to get $7 or
yeah, exactly. And so that, you know, $750 million then just goes into somebody else's pocket, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the only one that I've actually ever filled out and gone to full end was a Wells Fargo class action lawsuit, and that I got many hundreds of dollars back from Wells Fargo that they'd stolen from me, basically.
Very good. Yeah, usually most of these that you get emails about or letters about, it's like, hey, claim your $5.42 or whatever. Just fill out this 10-page form and we'll get it to you.
Yeah. And I'm sure they make that the firms make that so annoying that they get to then just keep that money, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm happy to see that in this case that Amazon is required to put an easy cancellation policy. But you know what? That should have been done from the get-go. You know, as soon as they got slapped from that, they should have handled that right away. It shouldn't have had to have been drug out for 2 years, cost Amazon $2.5 billion. Someone should have just brought the lawsuit and they said, yeah, sorry about that. We'll fix that right now. You know, but, and then there are people like you and I. Amazon goes, we just lost 1% of our revenue. We need to raise prices because we can't show a loss this year to our investors.
Yeah. So my thought on this, so before the show, I was just going through some of my notifications on LinkedIn, and this post from John Aspinall popped up on me, talking about, let me see if I can make that a little bigger, talking about the way that Amazon is changing the subscribe and save and kind of defaulting to it, and then changing the button to only buy a single to another way to buy instead of one-time purchase.
Yeah.
And so I seen you commented on it. If they force me into subscribe and save, I'm going to be pissed, which I agree.
Yeah.
And my thought on it was, you know, they just settled for 2.5 billion on shadily leading people to sign up for Prime. Will this be next?
Yeah. Nice.
Like, this is the next $2.5 billion lawsuit by forcing people to sign up for subscribe and save without them even knowing about it.
Yeah. And think of it like this. Let's say you got 100 million users buying one item a month, right? So you've got 100 million items a month. Let's say 50% of those are subscribe and save worthy. You got 50 million people that are going to, if they force the issue, right? You got 50 million people that are going to be buying a subscribe and save. They'll get a second unit and go, what the heck is this? Return it, get a third unit and go, what is going on?
Yeah.
Oh, turn that off. Right. And so Amazon, if they, now I hope that John clicked on the subscribe and save initially, but it definitely go to the other image real quick. So this one-time purchase on the left, subscribe and save on the left. On this one, subscribe and save is on the left-hand side, meaning to the iTrail, that's default, right? So they're already through like subliminal messaging, we'll call it. It's not so subliminal, but like they know that when you read this, another way to buy, I don't know what that is. I just want to check out, right? So if the subscribe and save is checked by default, they're going to cause themselves a lot of pissed off customers, a lot more returns, and a lot more work with their support to buyers. And I hope that John clicked on that.
I am pretty confident that I have seen the subscribe and save defaulted, because I've been annoyed by it that I go to check out and then I realize that I'm subscribing, and so I got to go back. Yeah, so here's one right here. I'm just clicking on some listings.
Yeah,
just open this up and look what the top thing is here. Selected automatically, subscribe.
Yeah.
And so if I only want to buy one, I got to click on this little icon down below here.
Yeah, that's
buy
insane.
one.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, it gets annoying for sure.
Yeah,
I've had to catch myself doing it. Now, at least here they're making it pretty obvious that I'm clicking a subscribe button.
Yeah, but
still, to me, it's annoying that they're defaulting to it.
Yes.
And there's really no, if you look at this here, it's not obvious that I can click on that and only buy one. It doesn't say anything about buy one here. It just shows like it's another offer, but if I click on it, then you can see it's only buying one. So they're really trying to hide that there's any other option versus subscribe for these kind of products. Now, this is on desktop. So I mean, mobile, it's probably even harder to notice.
Yeah. And me on desktop, I'm not seeing subscribe and save by default on anything that I'm clicking. Okay.
I had to click through like 10 of them before I found one that had subscribe and save turned on as an option. So you got to make sure you find one that actually has it turned on.
Yeah.
And that's one thing with, I just clicked on a bunch of vitamins and most of them don't have it turned on. So that's somebody needs to contact all these brands and be like, you need my services to, to improve your sales. But all the ones that have it turned on, it looks like it's defaulting. Well, actually, I take that back. So this one has it turned on, but it defaulted to add to cart. It did not default to subscribe and save. So it kind of goes back and forth.
Yep.
Well, but I see a future lawsuit, coming down the pike on that one.
If nothing else, future bunch of pissed off customers, but they're going to be pissed off at the brand. Like, hey, I didn't subscribe to you.
Yep. I know I've had to do that once or twice in the past before I realized that I'm clicking subscribe. So if I can do it and I'm in this world and relatively computer savvy, I can just imagine your grandma or your mom is signing up for subscriptions that they have no idea that they're signing up for.
Yep. I foresee this being a huge problem. Mark our words, folks. Check back in 365 days and let's see if we were right.
Yes, absolutely.
We should probably keep track of these predictions that we make.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'll have to have AI go through our transcripts and be like,
there you go.
Bring forth all of our predictions from the past.
Yes, perfect. You want to know something funny is Jade and I, when I was at Managed by Stats, we did a weekly news segment on that, right? And I, as a joke, I said, well, Amazon has partnered with Paramount and created a whole new thing, replacing this actor with an Alexa or something like that. And then Amazon announced their purchase of Paramount. And I was like, oh my God, that was a total joke. And I yeah, so it would really be interesting to take the transcripts of everything that we've done and go, hey, what were the predictions that came true, and see how good we are at our job.
I'll have to check it out. I don't know if there's a bulk way to download transcripts from Amazon or not, but if there is, that'd be.
You mean from StreamYard?
Well, no, I'd probably download the transcripts from YouTube. I mean,
Yeah, and then put it in a notebook LM.
There. It's what?
Put it in a notebook LM.
Yeah. I'll have to try that. Pull them down and see what predictions we've made that have come true over the years.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right, next article here. How Alibaba is trying to win over well-known Amazon sellers. So Alibaba is aggressively pushing AliExpress to attract established Amazon brands by offering lower shipping costs and taking a smaller commission than Amazon. The company is also expanding its catalog by bringing global brands alongside domestic Tmall favorites like Xiaomi and PopMart. For Amazon sellers, this signals growing competition in international markets, especially Europe and Latin America, where AliExpress hopes to gain ground against Amazon, Shein, and Temu. While Alibaba faces tariff challenges and profitability struggles, its incentives could tempt some Amazon sellers to diversify beyond Amazon's ecosystem. So for me, again, I always welcome more competition. I always wish it wasn't from China, but at the same time, more competition is good for sellers if it gives you more places to sell your product and make a profit.
Yeah. So, here's my thing on this. I do welcome competition to Amazon, and we're starting to see it. Like, we all thought in the beginning that Walmart was going to be like, oh my gosh, finally a big company is going to take some market share. Not yet. And then TikTok Shop came out, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, look at how this is performing. And then Amazon went, let's partner with TikTok and help fulfill orders that way. That way we can at least capture some of that revenue. Alibaba is probably quite a well-known place to buy product now, and AliExpress, maybe not as much as Alibaba, but probably some decent customer base there. The problem that they're going to have to overcome is the fact that it's direct from China cheap goods, right?
Well, that's why I think they're trying to court other Amazon sellers. Now, it says mainly in Europe, which makes sense, but I can see them doing this in the US as well if they're willing to build out the infrastructure.
Exactly. They're going to have to put a significant amount of investment into building trust in the the Western community, and I see, like, I just went to AliExpress and I immediately see this jacket here. This is where they're going to have trouble. There's this jacket that says, it's basically the North Face logo. It looks like a North Face jacket, but it says the Darth Face. It's actually quite funny. I'll give you the link. It's
the Darth Face. Okay.
The Darth Face. Yeah. And here, I'll put the link to it right here. Now, I'm no trademark expert, but it wouldn't surprise me if the North Face would have grounds for copyright infringement or not quite trademark. Well, maybe trademark. I don't really know. I'm not an expert, as I said, but this is the sort of stuff that AliExpress is going to have to figure out a way to eliminate. And this is just a random example, but they're going to have to figure out a way to, look here. Okay.
Taking a while to load for some reason. I got the homepage up over here though.
Okay.
Did you see it on the homepage?
Yeah, it was. It's just, I think it looks like Dollar Express is the one. I'm not, you've got a different, no, wait, that's it. Scroll down. Where did it go? Go down further.
Yeah, they're probably swapping it
No,
out.
no, no. It's down further. Down further.
What in the world? Simulated eggplant model plant.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Smart
Yeah, it's
sensor trash can. Look at that. You got like a tablet on your trash can here. That's
yep.
for
It's
20
4
bucks.
rows down from there.
4 more rows down.
Yeah, next row. Oh,
No,
it's not there.
populating
There it is. There
company.
it is.
There
There
it
it
is.
is. Yeah,
Waterproof military jacket. Okay. And what
yeah.
does it say on? Whoop, what happened? Shoot.
There it is. The Darth
See.
face. It's quite funny.
Yeah, but
And
in the
then
United States, that would probably equal some kind of lawsuit real quick or takedown
yeah,
of it.
yeah. And
Because
here's a
it's basically emulating their logo.
exactly. And there's a thing above it. It's a leather belt. It says Calvin. Exact same font and everything as Calvin Klein, but they added 2 eyes to it. Calvin with 2 eyes.
Yep.
It's just scroll up a little more and you'll see it. Let's see if it's there. There.
Oh, yes. Ah, yeah. See, so those are definitely going to be problems in the US. And
Yep.
I would imagine Europe as well. I mean, you can't try to confuse customers, and that's obviously what they're trying to do there. Now,
Yeah.
now this one, what's going on with my browser? The Darth face one, the jacket here, that, you could claim parody and maybe get away with that. But, if you're familiar with Stephen Pope, he was doing that with his tumblers, doing parody of like Star Wars and things like that on his tumblers. And Amazon ended up taking all those down after like a decade of selling them or something like that. But he got all those taken down. So it probably wouldn't fly. Legally, you could probably get away with it, but on Amazon, they would probably side with North Face and take it down.
Yeah. Yeah. But AliExpress, Alibaba is not Amazon.
Yeah.
But you know what? If this gets big enough of a platform in the American market, well, then companies like this, they're going to be subject to these legal fees no matter what, and they're going to have some trouble.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch, as with all of these. In the US, it's just going to be harder now with the closing of the loophole. So they're not going to be able to get the cheap goods from China so cheaply, if cheaply is a word.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to be courting more US based sellers and also increasing the price on their products that they're sending over the US. But competition is good. But how is Amazon responding to the competition? Well, right there, they're increasing the delivery speeds for Walmart, Shopify, and Shein. Apparently, from what I've read now, the multi-channel fulfillment for these other e-commerce stores is at 3 days now. They're guaranteeing supposedly 3 business days delivery times.
Pretty good.
So Amazon is just responding to the increased competition saying, okay, yeah, just give us your money for fulfillment then.
Yeah.
Logistics.
And honestly, yeah, look, there's 2 sides to this coin, of course. In one way, that's a good thing. They finally worked it out where they're going, okay, you know what? Why don't we know that our sellers don't solely want to rely on Amazon.com to make their sales. And that in order to expand a brand, you have to expand off of Amazon anyhow. So some genius over at Amazon went, well, why don't we just go ahead and support them in doing that rather than prevent them from doing that? I don't know why this company, it takes so long for them to realize that they can't just control everything, but then they go, wait, but we can control part of everything.
Yeah.
So
And I wonder, I think this is just a natural growth to Amazon, but I wonder if all of this kind of rapidly coming out lately over the course of the last few months has anything to do with the other lawsuit that Amazon is dealing with, which is the suppression of the buy box and price fixing, essentially by suppressing the buy box on sellers that didn't have the price where they wanted the price.
Yeah, that is one thing that, this has been going on for a long time as well. But I hope that Amazon doesn't just get their face slapped for this. I hope they get their jaw broken from a haymaker on
Yep.
this one, because that is completely unacceptable. You cannot tell
Definitely.
me where I can and cannot sell and how much I can and cannot sell for. You can mitigate what I can sell it for on your platform by charging me fees and stuff like that. That is a convenience fee for me. I'm happy to pay that. But don't tell me what I can do in my own business. You're not a
Yeah.
like this is like the kind of person like, hey, the government can't tell me how I can live my life, well, Amazon can't tell me how I can run my business. I'm happy to use it as a platform, and I do, and I'm basically 100% all in on Amazon. But to do that, like I've had enough suppressions and suspensions that it's like, to me, Amazon overall is untrustworthy because they have so many gaps and and random issues, and they shoot first and don't ask questions at all. And when you go, hey, what happened? They're like, oh, something happened, but we can't tell you what happened. Like, okay, well, what do I need to do to fix it? Oh, for that, you're going to need to know what happened. Like, cool, what happened? No. You have to
We
figure
can't
that
tell
out.
them. Yeah,
Yeah. All
that's
right. Well,
so
once I figure it out, how do I what do I need to get you? Like, oh yeah, you'll have to magically know that.
yes,
So
that
um
is frustrating.
yes, and so to that degree, look, I have 15 years of this. Amazon used to be a phenomenal company to work with, absolutely phenomenal. I had great customer support, and that's all gone now. And I'm not going to say they've gotten too big for their britches, because they've definitely like expanded with their own expansion and put in lots of stuff. But like Vanessa just said, rare is it when Amazon does something that actually helps the seller and is beneficial. More
Yep.
common is that they put some sort of policy or change in price that negatively impacts especially smaller sellers.
Yeah. They, in the beginning, they were courting sellers as much as customers,
Correct.
and that was the case for quite a long time, where now it's kind of the opposite. They're like
We
basically
don't need
trying to
you.
get rid of
Yeah,
sellers
that's what it feels like.
in favor of bigger sellers, and that they may or may not have to deal with as much in seller support.
Yeah.
So it's kind of gone the other direction, which is where competition is beneficial.
Mhm.
But at the same time, then Amazon is like, okay, yeah, competition, but now we're just going to take a piece of the pie from our competition for delivery and get our money that way. But I definitely think this has something to do with the buy box suppression lawsuit that's going on. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Hopefully, like you said, it'll be a giant smack to the face instead of a little slap on the hand.
Yeah.
But Amazon is just changing and adapting to make sure they get a piece of the pie, regardless of where you sell.
Yeah. Here's what I'd like to see from the FTC is, rather than saying, "Hey, we caught you on this. You got to pay us $10 billion,"
Mhm.
and then everyone drinks champagne because they made $10 billion that week. They go, "You have to invest $10 billion into resolving this problem, and we want to know and see exactly where every dollar is going and how
Mhm.
you improved this issue."
Yep.
That's what I think the FTC should mandate is, cool, you got a problem here, invest into fixing it, show us what you've done. Because yeah, Amazon loses 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion dollars. Yeah, that sucks for them. Ultimately, we're the ones that pay that price, because if they're going to show a loss on the P&L, they just go, well, where can we make this money? Let's have another Prime Day and charge people an extra 10%. All right. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a never ending cycle. That's for sure. Big
Yep.
businesses are this is built into their forecasting, essentially.
Yes.
These kind of lawsuits, they're going to
Yes.
push the envelope until they get smacked, and then they're going to shift to something else. And it's just part of doing business for them.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep pushing until they get pushed back, and then they'll refocus somewhere else, pay the fine. Okay, sounds good. We'll pay you 2.5 billion because we made 10.5 billion or 25 billion or whatever the case may be
Yeah.
off of
Yeah.
doing that
We'll pay you
fraudulent practice. So
yeah. We'll pay
ROI
you
was
your
pretty
sales
good
commission.
for us. We
Yeah.
spent 2.5 billion to make 25 billion. Let's
Yeah.
do it again somewhere else.
Exactly. Here's your sales commission, governmental agencies. And the other thing is, on the review side, like Amazon was suspending people like crazy for review manipulation. They still do, right? And yet was found guilty of review manipulation on their own products, like Amazon Essentials and stuff like that. And so 2015, you had a huge surge in sellers. And so these sellers would go out and get a whole bunch of 5-star products, and then the sales would go up. And then Amazon said, hold on, you can't do that. Anyone that gives you that you give a product for in exchange for review has to say it in the review. So everyone did that, right? And then Amazon went about a year later, went, never mind, you can't do that. They deleted all those reviews and a whole bunch of other reviews that were completely legitimate, and causing mass mayhem for lots of brands that were savvy on this. And then they went, nope, nobody can do paid reviews at all. And a little while later, like, hey, we came out with the Vine program where you can pay for reviews.
Yeah, we made this great service to help
Yeah.
you because we love you.
Yes. And they went, you pay us for the review, then give this person the product for free, who's contractually bound to give diversity of reviews. It's not only good or bad. So they have their own little review manipulation system, but they still got slapped around for that. And so their response to that was to hide the reviews on products. So you've got these products that have 500, 5,000, 50,000, 500,000 reviews, and Amazon only displays the last 100. You cannot locate the other ones. Well, I can, but it's part of how I do what I do. But that's the response, is to hide the evidence. Like, come on. This is the stuff that really makes me upset. Like, I don't care that Amazon had to pay $2.5 billion. I want a resolution.
Yeah, fix the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned Vine. It makes me think about some other news that I seen, and I haven't been able to collaborate it and show for sure that it's happening. But I've seen some mentions that with Vine, you're going to be able to select which reviewers you want to review your product. So you can hone in more and target people that will actually know about your product. So you're not giving away like an electric drill to someone who's a baker or something and has never picked up a hammer before in their life.
Yeah. I think that actually, that does make sense. So there's an influencer program out there called Levanta. I'm sure you've heard of it, right? And Levanta is working on something like that, to match the brand to the type of reviewer. Because I'm a Levanta influencer, but my stuff is so niche. I am a video content creator in the off-road and overland space. So that eliminates 99% of the products that are on there. Like, you can't come to me for content on supplements, So that was one of the things I've been talking with them a little bit back and forth, because like I need to get to the correct brands and then have correct expectations on what I'm going to be delivering.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's a good thing, as long as like Amazon's not going to divulge exactly who the people are. I think what they're going to do is you can choose categorically the type of reviewer that you want. So someone that does a
Yeah.
lot of supplements, someone that does a lot of outdoors, someone that does a lot of electronics.
Yeah, and hopefully my hope for that categorization would not be categorizing them based on the reviews that they're doing, but categorizing them on the products that they're buying for themselves.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
okay, this person buys a lot of tools, so let's put him in the tool reviewing category, because obviously they're a real consumer of those products.
Yeah, you know what? I actually need to get on the Amazon Vine program to see what it's like. I'm hesitant to do that because I'm a buyer, a seller, and now a content creator on Amazon. Like,
Yeah.
how biased can I get? You know what I mean? In the eyes of Amazon.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I was looking at how to get into Vine, and it looks like right now the only way is basically writing reviews on Amazon and then get invited to it.
yep, yep. You used to be able to submit. I was declined twice, despite having many thousands of followers. I was
Mhm.
declined twice. And then if you get declined a third time, that's it. You're out.
Okay.
At
Yeah,
least at the time.
probably it could be because you're a seller. I mean, it makes sense. But I'm in the Amazon influencer program though, and I'm a
Are
seller,
you?
and I create videos for the products that I sell, and they let me do
Sure.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they don't seem to have an issue with that. But yeah, maybe with the Vine reviewer program, they're a little more strict on it.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I'm gonna try and get into it. I've told my wife, like, I'm setting you up a tabletop where you can just like, we buy so much from Amazon that it just doesn't make sense for her not to be producing content on it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's a little stream
you
of
know,
income. I mean, if you're already getting the products, why not?
yeah, exactly. If you make an extra couple $100 a month, I mean, maybe that's groceries for you. You know, if
Mhm.
you're a single individual, that a few $100 a month, that could be groceries.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, we are over the top of the hour, Danon. So let's go
All right.
ahead and wrap it up there. But appreciate you coming on the show as always.
Always.
And everybody out there watching, appreciate you joining us. We'll be back here next Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So look forward to seeing you then. But
See ya.
until then, have an awesome weekend.